Every roller coaster around the world has a standout moment. Whether you enjoy the whole thing or not, there's always that one element on it that makes you go, whether it be a super fast launch that should be illegal, a crazy drop or hill that makes you feel like you've been flung out of your seat 5 miles away, or even just a part of the ride that leaves you speechless. There are many of these moments on roller coasters out there, which is why today I am going to be ranking my top 10 best moments on roller coasters in the world. And in this list, there are so many different elements from roller coasters across the globe. So be sure to watch till the end to see if your favorite roller coaster ends up in my list. And be sure to subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. We're closing in on 150,000 subscribers now, which is crazy. So any support towards that goal would be greatly appreciated. So first of all, as I do in every top 10 video or top 200 that I do, top 250 coming next year, I'm just going to lay out some ground rules just in case people think, oh, why wasn't my favourite coaster in there? Where's King Dakar when that existed? Where is Steel Vengeance? I haven't done them, I'm afraid. This list is purely going to be coasters that I have ridden, but please feel free to put your list in the comments. Either way, let's begin with number 10, which is weirdly a family coaster. Let me explain. Big Thunder Mountain at Disneyland Paris in Paris. If you didn't guess, as much as this is a family roller coaster, just a little mine train that has 3 lift hills, goes around these nice rocky plains, and has so much theming, there are 2 moments on this ride which are pretty similar to each other and are just so unexpected and absolutely bonkers. So spoiler alert if you haven't been on it yet, but the coaster right at the start and right at the end has a huge drop underground that, like I said, you do not expect from a family coaster. Plunges into darkness for so long, and it just keeps going down and down. It's crazy, all the way underground, and it is just ridiculous. I mean, what other family coaster does that? Makes for such a good part of the ride, and I love it. At number 9, we're heading over to Belgium, over on the Ride to Happiness at Plopsaland Japan, and I have picked out the Snake Dive, which, if you don't know what that is, it's the part after the second launch where it sort of barrel rolls up and then barrel rolls again into like a dive loop, why it's called a snake dive, and comes out of it like so. I mean, usually that wouldn't be too much of an impressive element, but the Ride to Happiness is a Mack Extreme spinning coaster, meaning whilst you are flipping upside down twice and diving down, you are also... There is no word for how this feels on ride. It just feels otherworldly because you completely lose track of where you are, and then the sort of coaster slows down a little bit as it reaches the crest of it, and then you just dive down and it picks up speed. It's ridiculous. But I picked out that highlight because it's very different from anything else on this list, because I can't lie, most of that ride could be on this list as well. Really makes me go, wow. As does number 8, Red Force over at Portaventura World, specifically Ferrariland in Spain, for its 111-mile-an-hour launch. Now, obviously, I could have picked these coasters that have this insane acceleration at the start, such as Stealth at Thorpe Park, or well, King Dakar doesn't exist anymore. Not that I've been on it anyway. But Red Force is the fastest launch that I have done, so if you have been on one that's faster, this is where it might rank for you. Because of that LSM, though, it just keeps on going and going and going. You sort of roll out of the station, hit that launch, and then it just continues building up speed all the way until you go up that massive 300-foot top hat. And as much as it's not the smoothest of launches, the fact the train is like shaking and vibrating as you go down makes it even more mental. It is just a mad sensation that I cannot explain, and the fact that you are literally going to see this on Falcon's Flight, having already gone down a massive drop into a huge LSM launch, into a huge airtime hill, that's going to be even more ridiculous. So that's not open, so it doesn't make this list. What is open, and I have ridden as well, is Iron Gwazi, that comes in at number 7 at Busch Gardens Tampa Bay in Florida. And I was really struggling whether or not to put this or Zadra at Energyland here on the list, because they're both RMC coasters, both with some crazy elements. And as much as Zadra has that insane wave turn halfway through, I wanted to put Iron Gwazi instead because of that one element, the death roll, where towards the start of the ride you're sort of banking up into what feels like it's going into some sort of overbank or helix, and as you reach the crest of it, it flips you the other way round and sends you flipping through a barrel roll the other way. It feels like you're about to fly out of your seat, and it is an absolutely insane element. Because like this whole list, I got off of that ride the one time that I did go on it, because the Busch Gardens operations are trash. Got off of it and thought that was a great coaster. I can't stop thinking about that death roll. I'm really intrigued to see if RMC do anything like this in the future, because that is just so silly. As is what Intamin have done on number 6. Toutatis at Parc Asterix, a swing launch roller coaster, one of the first of its kind, where you go into a fast switch track and then you roll back off the top hat, go into a huge vertical spike, and then accelerate over the top hat next time. It's got some standout elements on there, but the main thing I would point out, and the highlight for me, was the reverse launch on it. Because, you know, you're picking up a bit of speed, you go over a little airtime hill with the launch on the first time, oh, it's alright, you roll back nice. Then you go backwards and launch. When you go backwards over the airtime hill and then backwards over a little hump in the road that sort of levels out to take you up into the spike, you get so much airtime and you are just flung about in your seat so unexpectedly. As you're going backwards, you can't really see where you're going. Again, that is one of those things on that ride where I just thought, how is that even possible? It feels like you get too much airtime going backwards. It's that vicious, and it catches me off guard every time, and I love it. As I also love number 5, Batman Gotham City Escape over at Parque Warner Madrid. In Madrid, if you didn't guess. And all I really have to say about the element that I'm going to talk about, it's an airtime hill after the main big drop. Just look at this video. Yeah, I think that says enough. The massive height of that top hat that you've just come down from, and you have this tiny little airtime hill that you traverse over, and it just flies over it. And this is another one of those moments where I literally felt like I was going to fly out my seat. It should literally be illegal. Just look at that. What is it doing? I genuinely don't know how they manufactured that, thinking, it'll be alright, you know. I'd have been so worried about the fact it's so small compared to that top hat. Maybe put stress on the wheels or the train or something like that, or stress on the people on it. But no, it pulls over -1.5 Gs, which is pushing the boundaries of what's allowed on a roller coaster, and that's why I love that moment so much. At the same time though, on that ride, shout out to the stall at the end, because that is such a slow stall. I like how you've got this really fast hill, and the other best moment is a slow stall. It crawls over that and you get so much hang time that it's basically what happens on the airtime hill, but upside down. Fantastic. At number 4, we have Velocicoaster, also in Florida, at Universal Orlando's Islands of Adventure, specifically the Mosasaurus roll. It's pretty much a fast, whippy barrel roll over the water, and when I say fast, it's really low to the ground, and it goes over it at over 50 miles an hour. And this one, as much as you don't get thrown out of your seat as much as some other elements that I've mentioned, it's more so the fact that this is like the finale of the ride. You literally do that element and then end up back in the station not too long after. And it's about the location as well. The fact is, over that water, and it's right next to this lovely Jurassic Park area. It is just an absolutely incredible moment. But again, Intamin, what are you doing? Who thought of this and how was it allowed? It is absolutely insane. Oh, and also shout out to Velocicoaster's second launch, because that is awesome as well. And number 3, yes, we've reached the top 3 already, and this one is actually on a UK roller coaster. Would you believe it? I am of course talking about Hyperia at Thorpe Park, and specifically I'm talking about my favourite element on the ride, the first drop. This huge 236-foot tall coaster drops down, and instead of just going like, oh, a vertical drop, you know, that's still cool, it goes vertical and then twists 180 degrees all the way down to the ground. And the whip that you get on that, on the back row, I'm speechless. The build up of the music as you go up the lift hill, and then suddenly you just see the skyline of London. If you could properly see London, it'd just be a cloud of smoke. And then suddenly you are just whipped down out of your seat, all the way around flipped. It is so cool. But also at the same time, a massive shout out to the third element on the ride, which is that huge outer bank twist to the ground. When it is flying over that is also absolutely ridiculous. And number 2 now, we have one element from one of my favourite roller coasters on Earth, Voltron Nevera at Europa Park, and it was so hard for me to choose an element from this coaster because a lot of these would rank second for me. So I'm actually going to rank 2 of my favourites on this same spot from Voltron, because I just can't decide, I'm sorry. The first of which is the elements that you experience right at the beginning of the ride, the Beyond Vertical launch. Now, it might not seem like much because it's not a very fast launch and you sort of just accelerate upwards and then hang there for a bit, but it just boggles my mind. The way you're just sat upright for a minute and then literally a couple seconds later you are hanging upside down because you've just been through a Beyond Vertical launch. What? One of the best elements I have ever experienced on a roller coaster in my life. As is the other element on it that I want to shout out, the huge outer banked wave turn. Because oh my god, this element on the ride, it doesn't look like much, but it's very similar to that Batman airtime hill, where if you're in the right seat, you just get absolutely thrown out of your seat. And it's a really unexpected moment as well, because you think, oh, the Beyond Vertical launch is going to be great, whenever you go upside down is going to be great, the launches, everything like that. When you think about this little wave turn halfway through the ride, no one cares about it until they ride it, and then they realise how good of an element it is. That and the Beyond Vertical launch are two of my favourite elements from one of my favourite roller coasters. But it's not my absolute favourite element or moment I've experienced on a roller coaster, because that goes to number 1. Stardust Racers at Epic Universe in Orlando, specifically the Celestial Spin. Now, unlike the rest of this list, this is not the most thrilling or the most intense element of all time, but the way it happens in front of your eyes, it's just unbeatable. If you don't know what the Celestial Spin is, pretty much halfway through the ride, once you've gone on those launches, obviously it's a dueling coaster, that's why I said launches, because there's 2 either side, you come speeding down to this really strange looking element where one of the track sides goes up into an airtime hill and then barrel rolls down, and the other side barrel rolls over the airtime hill of the other one and then dives down underneath the barrel roll of the other one, if that makes any sense. And as cool as that is, seeing it dueling from off-board or anything like that, being on that ride and just looking above you or below you and seeing another train whilst the audio on ride is synced up as well, it's just amazing, because I genuinely had full-on goosebumps when it happened, and it's just one of the most incredible ride elements I have ever seen. But that doesn't mean it's my favourite ride in the world. You're going to have to see my updated top 250 when it comes out later down the line, aka the start of next year. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that, and if you did enjoy this list, leave a like. 1,000 likes and I'll do a worst moments on roller coasters around the world. Thank you very much for watching.